Hillary Clinton's email investigation is reopened, and just moments ago, we received a news statement from John Podesta, the chairman of her campaign for presidency, and it reads as follows. Upon completing this investigation more than 3 months ago, FBI Director Comey declared no reasonable prosecutor would move forward with a case like this and added that it was not even a close call. In the months since, Donald Trump and his Republican allies have been baselessly second-guessing the FBI in both public and private, browbeating the career officials there to revisit their conclusion in a desperate attempt to harm Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Podesta goes on, FBI Director Comey should immediately provide the American public with more information than is contained in this letter he sent to 8 Republican committee chairmen. Already, we have seen characterizations that the FBI is reopening an investigation, but Comey's words do not match that characterization. Director Comey's letter refers to emails that have come to light in an unrelated case, but we have no idea what those emails are, and the director himself notes they may not even be significant. He goes on, it is extraordinary that we would see something like this just 11 days from a presidential election. The director owes it to the American people to immediately provide the full details of what he's now examining. We are confident this will not produce any conclusions different from the one the FBI reached in July. The full text of that is being placed at foxnews.com where you can read it. Carl Cameron, live, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. What's the thinking about how this really could upend things, Carl?
Well, it's yet to be seen. Certainly from the Trump campaign's perspective, they think this is manna from heaven, a gift. And obviously, when you put it into the context of the last 10 days of this campaign and marry it with the spike in Obamacare premiums and the endless streams of WikiLeaks hacked Podesta emails, it certainly is a potent additional attack for Trump to add to his closing argument. The New York Times and others reporting now that this was related to the Anthony Weiner investigation and that both he and his wife, Huma Abedin, Hillary Clinton's top aide, and their devices were part of a separate investigation, suggest that that might have something to do with it. But it's very interesting to hear the Clinton campaign say, bring it on, show us what you got. That is, in fact, what Jason Chaffetz, the chairman of the House Government Oversight Committee, said earlier today. It's what Mike Pence said earlier today, that the FBI director should immediately explain what it is that they found so that the American people can know before the election. Because, for all intents and purposes, an investigation of this kind isn't going to get finished in the next 11 days, and the voters have a right to know. For the Republicans to be making that demand makes sense. They're looking and they think they smell blood. For the Democrats to make that demand suggests that they may have an idea of what was on Huma Abedin and or Anthony Weiner's devices that are apparently part of this investigation. And it's fairly difficult to imagine how Anthony Weiner might have had any classified information on it unless he got it from his wife. And since Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton are so close, and as Jennifer was reporting, they were seated next to each other today on the plane, you can bet that the staffer got grilled by the candidate about what possible risk there could be in any of her old devices and the potential presence of national security information. Even if this were to turn out to be a nothing burger, Shep, it is not going to be that way until the election. The Trump campaign is going to pound this. Republicans are going to pound this, and Democrats are definitely on defense. Hillary Clinton's lead was shrinking. It always does when we get to the last 10 or 15 days. The polls always get tighter. Pollsters get much more cautious. So this is a huge development. When it's resolved and how it's resolved will be after Election Day. Whether it affects the resolution of Election Day, we'll know in 11 days.
Wow. These calls for the release of whatever information they have might make sense on the surface, but Carl, as you well know, this is a serious criminal investigation that, if found guilty, could leave Anthony Weiner in prison for many years. That's not the sort of investigation about which you can make knowledge public, because it's all involved in that investigation. To do so would itself be a crime, depending on how closely related it is to that case. So they really are kind of stuck here.
But Comey could, the FBI director, could be a little bit more clear. That was a pretty oblique and opaque, I should say, announcement that he made. And the word out of the Justice Department and out of some in the FBI is that this may not be the kind of catastrophic wound and injury to Hillary Clinton that Republicans would hope for. That doesn't mean that Donald Trump can't turn it into one, however. This is politics. This is not a Justice Department investigation or an FBI investigation. This is an American election. And with the Republican and Democratic candidates pounding them one another with insults far more than policies and offering for the taxpayers, the way it's adjudicated will be vastly different from the way things work at the FBI and the Justice Department.
Yeah, there's no doubt there. Catherine, stay with us, Carl.